Well, press conference of the Black Stars of Ghana called off as tension brews in camp. At least those are the reports that we're picking up. Now, senior players of the Black Stars are reported to have issued a threat that they will leave camp following their 2-1 defeat last night by the United States of America. This is today's big story. My name is Prince Minka. Now, reports from the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana in Brazil, even though unconfirmed, goes to suggest that the senior players in camp are still furious at Coach Kwesi Appiah over his decision to keep some of them on the bench during the first half of the game between the Stars and the United States of America last night. Unconfirmed reports, though, but we're picking signals that most of the senior players are beginning to pack their bags. Hours ago, Ghana's press conference was cancelled owing to some confusion in the camp. But with 2 more games to go in the group stages of the World Cup, how will this development affect the chances of the Black Stars in moving to the next stage of the tournament? Well, we're going to be joined in the studio shortly by Patrick Osei Asare, also known as Songo, and he's going to bring us more information with regards to this particular development. But let's listen to Coach Kwesi Appiah as he justifies why he chose to go the way he went last night.
Okay, my Black Stars, commenting on yesterday's match, very abysmal performance. It's not good. Technically, tactically, the coach was very poor.
It's a disaster, we weren't expecting that, and it was unfortunate that we had that first goal against us. By saying that, playing at this high level, any loss of concentration can cost you big time, and I think that's really happened. It's not going to be easy. Germany has got a very good team. We do our best to give them a very good game.
Well, shortly we'll be joined by sports analyst Kwesi Asare, who's going to also tell us a bit more about what he's picking from Brazil with regards to the confusion that seemed to be rocking the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana. We'll get to hear from him shortly. But let me just let you know what's been going on. There was a press conference, post-match press conference for that matter, that was supposed to have been held today. The press conference was called off. And there's been a number of messages on social media from sports journalists that goes to suggest what we've been telling you all this while, that some level of confusion seemed to have rocked the camp of the Black Stars, and speculations are rife that some of the senior players would want to leave camp because they feel some of the suggestions that they've made to Coach Kwesi Appiah do not seem to go through him. But we're going to be getting on the phone lines Akwasi Nanajaman shortly, and then we can speak to him on that. But also speaking about some of the developments within the Black Stars is captain of the team, Asamoah Gyan, and he's been justifying why they played the way they did yesterday, and also been given assurance that they're going to go into the next game with Germany with a lot of confidence. Now, let's listen to some of the soccer fans.
Okay, my Black Stars, commenting on yesterday's match, very abysmal performance. It's not good. Technically, tactically, the coach was very poor. Why do you keep the playmaker to play for defense? Coach Asamoah must be in support of the forward. He must not be at the back. He must not defend. He must help the forward. You understand? So I want them to change the tactics to push Coach Asamoah forward and include Kevin Prince Boateng in the team.
Yeah, welcome back. This is still today's big story here on Joy News on your multi-TV channel. And of course, we've been telling you that the press conference of the Black Stars was called off due to some sort of tension where beginning to get from the grounds. That's beginning to brew within the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana. Now we're also picking up signals that some of the senior players would want to leave camp. As to why this is so, we'll be hitting the phone line soon actually, and we'll be getting you some details with regards to that. But still on the Black Stars, a number of supporters of the Stars are disappointed in yesterday's game. But what we also know is that about 500 fans who were successfully airlifted to Brazil are also said to be stranded and without accommodation after they arrived in the country. Also, the Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan has been calling on fans to stay behind the team as they prepare for their next Group G match against Germany on Saturday. And the Stars are fresh from Monday's 2-1 loss to the United States of America in Natal, and most of the fans have expressed their sadness at the result, which has left Ghana needing to overcome difficult opponents, Germany and Portugal, in the next 2 group matches. But Asamoah Gyan has urged the fans of Ghana to show belief in the team. And here's a quote from him. He says, "It is true that we lost the first game and our fans back home in Ghana will be disappointed, but they should not lose hope. They should still support us as we will do our best to win." And he continues to say that the Black Stars of Ghana are focused and will do their best to win their game on Saturday. But let's still stay on the bigger story, which obviously has to do with the confusion within the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana. As to why the press conference was called off, we still don't know yet. And it's quite funny that a number of the sports journalists from Ghana who are in Brazil currently reporting for a number of the media houses here in Ghana, their phones don't seem to go through. As to why that is so, we'll find out as well. This is still today's big story here on Joy News. But let's check out the game that got a number of us sad. And this is still today's big story here on Joy News on Multi TV. Still trying to get on the phone lines. Nana Jaman, a sports analyst, as well as Tony Beverly. He's also a journalist with us here at Joy News. And of course, he's in Brazil, and he would bring us up to speed with exactly what is happening or what led to the situation where the press conference, the post-match press conference of the Black Stars did not come on as scheduled. But the information that we're picking is that some senior players within the Black Stars intend leaving camp. As to why that is so, we're still trying to get some answers for you on the phone lines. But just as I mentioned to you, the captain of the Black Stars, Asamoah Gyan, is quite hopeful that the Black Stars of Ghana will be able to go through their next game with Germany and eventually Portugal, so they will be able to move to the next stage of the tournament. And of course, he's been asking soccer fans here in Ghana to rally behind the Black Stars of Ghana and not to lose hope at all. But exactly what is the confusion in camp? We're still going to be finding out. This is still today's big story here on Joy News on Multi TV. Well, this is still today's big story here on Joy News on Multi TV, and we're still discussing the fact that a press conference of the Black Stars of Ghana was called off, as we're picking up strong signals that tension is brewing in the camp of the Black Stars of Ghana as to how will this affect their next game. I mean, are questions that obviously would emanate. Let me bring in Famous Achichobi. He is the lead producer here at Joy News, and certainly we're picking more information with regards to this. Famous, thanks a lot for joining us. Okay, so what else are we picking up?
Well, obviously we watched the game yesterday, and we picked up signals that as of yesterday, some players were threatening to leave camp. And I'm told that the vice president moved in there, as well as the president of the FA, to have a word with them, just as a way of calming nerves and all that. And the problems then, from the fact that players were questioning why, they are senior or key players, were made to sit on the bench, and the less experienced ones had gone to play. So they thought that it was too much of a risk that the coach took, and they also felt that the coach did not do consultation with the technical team, and it was more like a unilateral decision that he took on his own, and did not listen to the opinions, or did not seek the opinions of the senior team members, just as a way of, putting ideas together to put in a more formidable team to face the USA. So it appears that they were much disappointed in the decisions of the coach, thinking that whatever may have happened yesterday is attributed to the coach. But if you listen to Coach Kwesi Appiah after the game, he actually did mention that for him, he thinks that the boys played their hearts out. He thinks that there was nothing wrong with the selection that he put forward as his first 11. And he also thinks that, yes, it was an issue of a loss of concentration that led to the mishap yesterday. And then that could have happened to anybody, because his idea was to bring in, the stronger legs after the first half, hoping that by that time the Americans would have been tired. Yeah. So I think that approach probably did not work well for Coach Kwesi Appiah. And then it's football. I mean, generally I think that, look, anything could have happened, because if you read Facebook comments and all that, the people who also mentioned saying that, look, Asian came in, he was just running around the pitch. People, I mean, we are all coaches, 25 million Ghanaians. When something goes wrong, we all have different opinions about how it should have been done. But I also bet that when Coach Kwesi Appiah made his selection prior to the game, if you check the trend on social media, there wasn't any particular, or there weren't particular comments that suggested that, hey, you are putting, you're not putting your best foot forward, but you're rather putting the weaklings ahead of, the game. There weren't any such comment that would suggest that, hey, we probably needed to go back to the drawing board to correct any anomaly, if there was any.
We'll get back to the drawing board, but let's go back to reasons why the press conference did not come off. We all know about the tension that's brewing in camp. Now, you mentioned that the vice president has been speaking to some of the players. Going forward, what's this issue that we're hearing about? Some of them, wanting to pick their bags and come home, even though such interventions were made.
Yeah, but like I mentioned earlier, this issue came up because they felt that, look, there wasn't enough consultation. It wasn't an issue of teamwork, but it was more of a unilateral decision taken by the coach, and they felt that they had been disrespected, or they had not been considered.
So this is more like
enough.
A revolt in the team.
It was a revolt, but I think that considering the fact that we are playing on a world stage, this is a very wrong timing for any such thing to happen, because we are looking at branding Ghana one.
Right.
We're also looking at the impressions that we've created internationally. It's a first game. We all know the implications of losing against the Germans, because this is an American team coached by German, and we're going to play a German team coached by Germans. And looking at the group in which we fall, we're hoping that, okay, Portugal will be difficult. We know that definitely Germany would be a tough side to beat. We're hoping at least we could deal with the Americans, but this is a situation where they have dealt with us. So what next? So when we lose to Germany, that means we coming home?
But I guess a number of our viewers would want to know if calm has returned to calm.
At the time when we spoke to our correspondents, Tony Beverly and Cole, it appeared that talks were still ongoing. So we're hoping that, for me at this very moment, what is important is the job of the team psychologist to be able to engage the team, to psych them up. It is important that the captain of the team would be able to rally around his team and say, listen, boys, it's happened. Let's put it behind us. We have a battle ahead. Let's go there and kill ourselves. Let's play our hearts out. And then it's important that the coach, as the father of the team, where it need be for him to apologize to his sons that, look, I have erred, I am human, I agree, I probably should have listened to you better, and I did not. There should be a lot of talk, just lots of calmness, because you're dealing with players who have played internationally, who are quite egotistic as well. So it's about communication and how you manage them. It's about teamwork and how you be able to put your energies together to form a certain synergy and move ahead and play your hearts out. Because at this time, I believe that the team morale is down. I believe that the morale in the country is gone down. I saw a comment on Facebook. Someone said, look, the whole country is quiet, as if John Mahama is writing names of talkative. And everybody's quiet.
And it's quite clear that expectations were quite high.
Yes,
proud to the press conference as well.
For me, what I even saw was that the morale and the enthusiasm or the euphoria surrounding the game wasn't that high, and which is quite understandable,
right?
Because Ghanaians are such that we play the first game, you know, we have some seeming support. Once we qualify for the next stage and the season level of progress, then everybody rallies around the flag, and we all hoisting, and you know. But if you looked around prior to the game, not many people had flags hoisted or flags on their cars and all that. We don't see the presence of the Ghana flag like we saw in 2008 and in South Africa 2010. I don't know why, but it appeared to me that for some people it was no surprise that Ghana lost to USA anyway.
Okay, let me just announce to our viewers that we've been trying to get a hold of our team in Brazil, but the lines are not really working for us. As and when we get them, we'll put them back on the line. But let's talk about the crack in the walls that we're beginning to see. How deep can it get? I'm referring to the fact that
I don't know if you want to call it cracks in the wall, or you want to say these are threats or seeming cracks. For me, I would not want to say these are cracks yet. It's a human institution. These things do happen where people feel that, hey, we could have done better, and it is no different. You know, the sentiments being expressed by the players, you know, are no different from what 25 million Ghanaians will probably be expressing anyway.
Right.
So, like I said, it boils down to how the team and the management in itself would sit down with the players, and then also importantly, the role that the team captain would play in speaking to his teammates to say, listen, you know, we have our individual strengths, we have our individual weaknesses as humans. What is important is that we put our energies together. The game is only on Saturday. We can only go out there and then by some miracle or by whatever it is, we need to win the game against Germany. Okay. And I think that's the way forward in the game.
Very, very well. Latest information that we're picking is that the Black Stars are training nonetheless. I mean, regardless of the situation in camp, which is obviously a good news for us.
Well, they have no option but to train.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that it would have been a good signal for them to have opted out. I don't think that would have happened. So we will look forward to the game on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Famous.
You're welcome.
And certainly that'll be it for this session, though, on today's big story. Coming up shortly, we're talking more Black Stars and more reactions after the game between USA and the Black Stars of Ghana on Gen Interactive with Marian Ture. Stay tuned.